Hi, and welcome to Three Questions With. Got my friend Christopher Swanson with us. Christopher's going to offer some advice on purchasing insurance in this segment. Hey, Chris, welcome to the show.
Hey, Kev, how you doing?
Living the dream. So, Chris, we were talking before the show, and often when people are looking for a new insurance policy, it's because they want something cheaper. Cheaper isn't always better, right?
No. So, I mean, that's oftentimes something that I get asked up front about. People tend to hone in on things like discounts and price and savings. And I was no different when I was an insurance consumer before I started working at Bates. I was no different. That's all I was concerned about as well. But people tend to often overlook the value that an agent can provide and focus in on those things like price, discount, savings, and it can kind of take them away from the bigger picture where they really should be focused on the value and the coverage and what their policy can do for them.
Chris, one of the things I'm big on is deductibles and coverage limits. Where someone will say to me, hey, I was able to save so much money, but I'm like, yeah, but you had higher coverage limits before. So of course that was going to cost you more money. Are you willing to take that chance? Or even a simple thing like a deductible? You and I may be friends, and I know, Chris, you don't have $1,000 if something happens to your car. Just just where you're at in life. Are you willing to take that risk that you can't get your car fixed because you don't have the $1,000?
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a risk. I mean, oftentimes I tell people, yeah, high deductible, lower premium, but at the same time, that doesn't come without risk. I mean, at the end of the day, do you want to pay a little bit less and have a higher deductible, or vice versa? I mean, there's risk involved with every aspect of insurance. That's for sure.
So, Chris, what are some of the things you see people kind of overlook when they're considering making a change while they're looking for a policy?
Yeah, I mean, I see it oftentimes where, again, they can overlook the value of the agency and the brokerage, and people love to be those, do-it-yourselfers. But it's specifically on the homeowner side, sometimes I present a quote to somebody and they will come back to me and say, Chris, I bought my home for, I'm just throwing easy numbers out there. I paid $500K for my home, and I'm looking at your policy, and my dwelling coverage is only 400,000, let's say. And I say, okay, well, that's an easy one to answer, plain and simple. And of course, respectfully, the insurance company, they're not interested in what you bought your home for, what you could sell it for. They're not interested in the current real estate market. The big thing that they care about is what is your home going to cost with like, kind, and quality material to replace it in the event of a total loss. People kind of get a little too gung-ho on what they bought and sold the home for as it pertains to their insurance policy. And I always tell them those are two completely separate entities. And again, the insurance company, they're not really interested in the current real estate market. Like, kind, and quality material to replace your home in the event of a loss is what they care about.
Yeah, I mean, it makes total sense, but I can see how easy of a question it is. But you mentioned one thing that's super important to me, Chris, is the person behind the policy. Because unfortunately, we've all been there. We've gotten into accidents. I want to know, God forbid, if something happens to me or my wife, that whoever I'm using for my insurance is going to be there to literally hold my hand and walk me through the process. Not to tell me, hey, Cav, call 1-800, who cares?
Right.
That's not what I'm looking for. That's
important. Yeah, absolutely. And again, that's the value that an agent can bring to you. And I'm the type of person where I'm going to give out my cell phone number because let's face it, people don't stop driving on the weekends. Insurance doesn't stop on the weekends. I always tell people, what are you going to do if you get in a car accident at 5:01 p.m. on a Friday afternoon? You don't want to just sit there having that on your mind all weekend. You at the very least, the insurance companies may be closed, Friday night to Monday morning, but that's why you have an agent, just to call, tell them what happened, just get everything off your chest. And I'm glad that I do that because it's been needed, among my clients. Accidents happen on the weekends.
Yeah, unfortunately. Chris, what advice do you have for someone who's shopping for a policy? What are some of the things they should think about?
Wow, I could keep us here all day with good advice or tips that I could offer, but two quick answers to that. If you are a rookie policyholder, let's just say you're a young kid, maybe just graduated college, mom and dad just kicked you off a family auto policy. If you are, and I'm the perfect person for someone like that to speak to, because I'm going to not only have a bunch of good tips and advice for you, but If I'm that rookie policyholder, all that I'm going to ask out of you is you come with a list of questions. It's going to help me to get to know you. You get to know me and what Bates Insurance is all about. And it's going to help me address your concerns, right when we get started, right up front. And the second part to that answer, let's say you're a pro veteran insurance consumer, you've done this a million times before. Well, the simplest, easiest request that I can have for you is bring me a copy of your current policy, because that is going to tell me who you're with, coverages that you're currently holding, deductibles, policy effective dates, because it's going to help me throughout the quoting process. And if hopefully it results in a deal, then I'm going to need that information anyways, because I am the one that ultimately cancels your current home or auto policies. If you sign with me, I'm going to need all that information anyway, effective dates, policy numbers, and all that good stuff. So that's my number one tip. Just come prepared to ask lots of questions, and that's what your agent's there for.
Okay, Chris, what's the best way for people to reach out to you? How can they learn more?
I would probably say email's the best way to get in touch with me. Christopher@batesins.com. You can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram. I'm pretty easy to get a hold of.
Chris, I really appreciate you taking the time to call into the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
Awesome. Thank you, Kev.